What's up, everyone? Justin from Core Performance here with the rest of our team, Doug, Tara, and JD. We're out here on the range today to do some testing with the IcePlate in conjunction with soft body armor, commonly used by most law enforcement agencies here in the United States. We set up a rough approximation of the NIJ test protocol. It's by no means exact. We're not pretending that it is, but we're going to try to create a representative test. So on here, on this table here, we've got kind of laid out some of the gear that we're going to use to conduct this test. So standard staple gun to set the targets up, targets for zeroing. We've got some pasties here to designate the shot placement per NIJ specification. We have a fixed blade knife that we picked up from Walmart here, again, just to represent a basic street threat. We'll get to that later. Asp baton, commonly carried by U.S. law enforcement again. And also law-abiding private citizens. And then we have three weapons. Glock 19, everybody knows, most prolific handgun in the world, 9mm. We have two different rounds, Freedom Munitions, 115 grain, round nose, and then we have some Speer Gold Dot, 115 grain hollow points. Great round. Going to do a representative sample of those. And we've got a Springfield 1911 Long Beach operator, chambered in 45, obviously. So we've got some 230 grain Speer Gold Dots here. Wilson Combat Magazine. We got a Glock 23 and 40 cal. And this we were able to find NIJ specification 180 grain FMJs. Here's the IcePlate. So this is going to be sandwiched between the armor and the clay so that we can measure back face signature and whatnot. To do that, we are going to use this tire gauge. It'll give us, again, a general idea, representative idea of sort of what the signature looks like. I'm going to rest the gun on this Caldwell bag here, some spray adhesive, zip ties, staples, elastic to make the ensemble work. If you walk with me down range here, again, the specified distance is about 5 meters. We have a standard soft armor here made by PACA. I actually used to wear these with my old agency. Phenomenal body armor, very comfortable. We have a 20-pound clay block here to represent the back face, 60-pound sandbag to sort of backstop the entire ensemble, resting on a table here, again at the NIJ specified distance. Then we have a variety of cameras set up to hopefully capture the action. Hey everyone, all right, so we've got a fully frozen, fully charged IcePlate with 50 ounces of ice water, or ice, I should say. So we were going to put this IcePlate, as it would be worn on patrol, in between the body armor and the clay block, which is the user, with the sandbag as the backstop. So we'll just tighten this down here, sort of as I used to wear my armor, which is fairly snug. Ready for running. Okay. And then this indicates the first shot target per the NIJ spec. And if you look at the top here, you can see sort of a cross section of what this looks like. And so here we go. Let's get started. Range is cold. Secure eyes and ears. Okay, so I'm close. Wasn't right on. Now let's see what happened inside the vest. So it looks like the IcePlate took a pretty big hit. Now we're going to remove the IcePlate and see what it looks like on the backside of the clay. Well, it looks like there's really no impact. And you can see the backside of the IcePlate. This is really the most telling right here because there's really no change in the shape of the IcePlate. And you can see that in the clay. The stackable geometry of the core hex logo is evident. But if you look straight down, which is what will show you the indentation, there's just the curvature of the IcePlate, nothing really measurable. which leads us to believe, anecdotally at least, that none of the, or very little of this impact force made it to the back. And certainly because you can see that the ice plate is still intact, it didn't rupture at all, which means that the bullet is stopped in here. So let's go ahead and look at the armor and see that it ripped here, but the slug is inside. So go ahead and look at the back face. The carrier has torn, okay, but you can see the Kevlar below is not penetrated. And you can see that again, the evidence is very clear that there is no slug penetration here. It's just an indentation. You can feel the slug is caught in the Kevlar. So we'll try to get that out for you here. We'll probably stop the game. Oh no, here, we can see it. Actually, this is great. So you can see it. Let me get a flashlight here so we can get a little more light in there. And you can see the copper of the slug caught in the vest. So the ice plate, fully frozen, 100% charged, nothing but ice, behind the carrier, soft armor, fully stopped the 9mm bullet. That's Speer Gold Dot, and was able to absorb almost the entire indentation and backface signature of that round. That's pretty frickin' cool. Okay, next round it is. Here, we dropped it on the ground to sort of flatten it out as much as we could, and we're going to then basically reset the vest. You can see all we're really trying to do here is we're not going to have a perfectly smooth surface. What we're trying to do is just have a flat surface. So if you look at it from the top, we're just trying to create an ability to see a difference between pre-impact versus post-impact. And this place this in front of the clay block, reset the clay. Over it and secure it nice and tight. Okay, now one of the things we want to make sure we do is we want to make sure we don't have any real spacing between the ice plate and the block so that we get a true measurement, or at least as true as possible, given that we're not in a lab. But there you go. It's pretty well made it up there. And then we're going to slide this whole thing back up against the sandbag, even that out. Okay. Range is cold. Let's go check it out. Okay, so we can clearly see the impact right here. It blew our little number 2 sticker off. Or that one's gone. So now let's see what happened. This is a 40 cal, 180 grain. And you can see the slug was caught here. Looks like it moved around a bit. You can feel it. I don't know if you guys can see this in the camera, but it's protruding right here. So you know that the slug was caught. And this is the only damage. So it looks like the back face, just this, and then that. So if we want to look from the top or the side profile, that will give us kind of an indication. This is the back side of the ice plate. That's the back side of the clay. So again, the ice plate appears to have absorbed a good chunk of that impact, certainly on the backface signature. Okay, we're going to reset it now, and 45's up next. All right, so the first 2 tests went so well with 9mm and 40 cal that we're going to go ahead and do a third shot with 45 cal. It's not part of the NIJ test, but what the heck, why not? We're out here, and it's a good day at the range. So we've got some Speer Gold Dot 230 grain 45 with us that we're going to send through a Springfield Armory Long Beach operator, 1911. We've reset the clay here, so we're going to bring the camera in and come over top so that you can see that the clay face is smooth enough where we'll be able to see some backface signature should it present during the course of the test. We have a new ice plate here, fully charged, filled with water, or I'm sorry, frozen water, so ice. We're just going to place it here nice and tight up against the clay. We don't want any spacing because that might affect the results of the test. So we're going to secure it as tight as we can. Okay. You can see there's no spacing here. Let's check. Yep. And you can bring the camera around to the other side. To this left side here, you can see that there's no spacing there also. All right, shot. This shot placement is number 6 in the protocol. I'm going to do my best to line it up. It calls for a slight off-center placement so that the concentric rings sort of overlap. So we can see that actually I was able to get it right on the orange circle that time. Love that Springfield. Great, great gun. So accurate. And let's see here. Okay, so when we peel it away, we can see that we got a nice big indentation, but no penetration whatsoever through the ice plate. So the armor worked just fine. And I don't know if you guys can see this at home, but that's the slug. It's kind of penetrating through. Unlike the 9mm, we can't, or the 40 cal, we can't see the copper jacket exactly. But if we bring it around to the backside, you can see that there's nothing there. And again, going back to the ice plate, just a nice solid indentation. What should have been the back face deformation on the clay. Now let's see what happens on the clay. It's gonna have to peel it away a little bit. All right, so this is the first time where we have a little bit of back face deformation signature. Very, very little, almost insignificant. So we're going to get the tire gauge out here. Let's see what it comes out at. Okay, interesting. So when we put the tire gauge up against here, it actually doesn't even measure, which is awesome. So the back face signature isn't even large enough to allow our depth gauge to go in there. It's really not much at all. Looks like the ice plate took the brunt of it. So Doug, you want to take a look at that ice plate there?
Yep. So again, you can see the pretty good impact here on the front. On the back though, hardly any really difference. So it took all the force and spread it out. This one's, you can hear it, little slushy, definitely broke apart as it went in, but still very solid.
So would you say probably what happened is the ice kind of had a radial cracking effect, if you will? I think it sounds like, because it was
That's
solid
what it feels like.
Started.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it sounds like you want to shake it up so the guys at home can hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it a little broken. But again, even the back, like we saw, tiny little bump here where the force actually reached the back of the ice plate, but again, hardly any deformation there.
It's just the ice that's broken, not the plate. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. There's
plate
no
is
leaking.
plate is solid as can be.
If you see, put the ice plate up against the light, and you can see the water in there, and you can see that it's not leaking out.
Yeah.
At all. So the ice plate structure, the bottle itself is completely intact.
Yeah.
Impressive. All right, shot number 3, 230 grain Speer Gold Dot 45. Stop dead in its tracks. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to continue our testing again, but this time without the ice plate, just so we have a frame of reference. Again, we've reset the clay, as you can see, to get a nice smooth surface. And again, we'll bring the camera in nice and tight here so that you can see that it's flat enough. That's a little shadow that you're seeing from the vest. In case you guys are wondering, it's not any deformation in the clay. So we're going to go ahead and put the vest. This is the back side of the vest. You can see there's no logo here, and it's a higher cut without the yoke here. So we're going to reset the vest. Again, trying to go as tight as possible. That's realistic. So we get a nice tight fit between the armor and the clay. so you can see what the back face signature is like. So we're going to try to be as scientifically consistent as we are able, getting no space between the vest and the clay. So you can see that the bullet went in right here, to the number 3, my Glock 19. I'm obviously not as accurate with that as I am with my 1911. And when we look at the back, that is the back side. No penetration. You can see there's no slug in there, but you can see what it did to the clay. That's kind of self-evident. And we'll get the tire depth here just because I think we're actually deep enough where we can get a measurement. Okay. That's about, so there you go. It's about 4 centimeters, 1.5 inches, give or take. Yeah, that's a lot. So we already saw what happened with the IcePlate. Or that's you if you choose not to wear the IcePlate, I guess. We're going to go ahead and check the vest. Now, if we look at the vest, we can see it's shredded, but the slug is still in here. It's actually warm on the outside, on the bad guy facing side, but on the inside, there's no penetration here, right? You can just see that it transferred a lot more force and a lot more energy. The slug, as I try to find it again, is right here. It's right where my finger is. Okay, I can feel it here. It's not as easy for me to help you guys see. We'll do a separate video where we can tear the vest apart and actually extract all the slugs so you guys can see that. But again, this is really the whole story right here. I mean, how much energy transferred through the back of the vest and into the clay. So that's it. Okay, we're going to do 40 and 45. What's now going to be shot number 5 in our test. Second shot on the back side of the vest. 5th shot overall for the day. What we're going to do is go back to the Sellier Bellot 40 cal, 180 grain. You can see JD, we just did a clip of it right there. JD just reshaped the clay, and you can see it's, again, smooth enough for the purposes of this test so you can see some contrast in the back face signature. Cold, secure ears. All right, so as maybe some of you may have picked up at home, I forgot to put the little dot on the target, but no matter, I put it roughly in the same spot as our last one. So there's the impact. I'm going to take the vest apart now. And you can see what 40 cal did without the IcePlate. That looks like a shot out of Predator. So I'm going to move to the other side. You can see what it did to the back side of the vest. Again, without IcePlate, no supplemental or augmented protection. Good job there. Okay, go ahead and reset this to 0. And let's see. I mean, this is so destroyed, I don't think we're going to get an accurate measurement, but we'll just play it conservative and put it to the shallower penetration point, which is going to be the side here. And even the side looks to be, good Lord, that's about right. So that's the most conservative penetration. And if we measure to the outside here, there, so you can be the judge of that. I think the other really interesting part is, again, the vest worked. The vest worked as designed, and you can feel the 40 cal slug in here. It's right here. I don't know if you guys can see that at home, but I'm grabbing the slug there, and right here. So you can see the Kevlar is totally intact. It stopped the round absolutely as designed, but the back face signature is that. So We're going to go ahead and we have one last round. We have the Speer Gold Dot 230 grain 45. Let's All right, so we're back for the last sixth and final shot of the day, which will be Speer Gold Dot 230 grain going to the pocket vest and going without the supplemental IcePlate cooling, hydration, and whatnot. So you can see we've flattened out and reset the clay again. Smooth enough, given what you guys have seen, for us to be able to very clearly tell what the difference is. So we're going to go ahead and secure the vest again. Range is cold, range is cold. Secure ears. Okay, well, 1911, true to its name, always delivering on accuracy. There's the impact point right there. Point of impact, I guess. And now for the money shot, as it were, or what everybody wants to see, the back face deformation here. Now, very clearly we can see there is no round in there. There's no slug. So the vest, again, worked perfectly as designed. Sort of tore the back apart, but the vest, the Kevlar layers did stop it. No IcePlate augmentation, so back face deformation is pretty substantial. You can get the depth gauge here. Again, this is Speer Gold Dot, 230 grain, 45. And that's about what we get, about 4 centimeters. So that's going to do it for us.